Do you have a feel good game? A game that doesn't stress you out and gives you comfort? Kind of like a soul game? I bet you have. And I have too. And today I can explain why my games are feel good games, and you could be surprised which games those are. I have two type of feel good games, and one is the type that you log in, you shut your brain off, and then you just run around and shoot, kill, slaughter enemies, something like Vermintide. You have fun with your friends, you have funny interactions. The game is a little bit junky, but that's what you need. You don't want to get into it. Um, you don't want to be intellectually engaged. Just shut the brain off and let the fun begin. Another type of game that is a little bit different. I have been playing Wall World and Dome Keeper, and both games are almost similar. But while I was playing them, I noticed how mind soothing they are and how much I enjoy them, even though they're not the top of the crop. Just to sum it up, both games are kind of roguelike resource gatherer games where you go into a mine, try to gather resources, and with those resources, you grade your operation center and yourself up so your next run is more efficient. So basically, it's about efficiency, spending time to get more efficient. And of course, this game type or procedure would be pretty boring. So, what both games have is a little bit of interaction with enemies. You constantly get attacked after a while by alien wildlife in those games, and it is a distraction, but it also reminds you to keep working towards a goal, not just run around in the cave and turn around each and every stone to find resources. Both games give you the sense of autopiloting through the game without a lot of mental engagement, which is really good after a hard day where you may be mentally or physically so drawn out because of work or interactions with people. So you just need something that calms you down but still gives you this little bit of a satisfaction of doing something. Just reminded myself about one thing that makes this game even more feel good is you just grab your controller and can sail away with it, right? Smooth sailing, smooth surfing. You don't need the complexity of keyboard and mouse, what usually brings complexity with it. It is well played with a controller. And I know maybe that's a given, but that is something that helps relaxing to those games. Adding to it, those games give you a variety of different resources, so you always have to be aware which resources you need for upgrading, for using as a healing, and other stuff. It is so nice to see that those games also give you light barriers that you have to break. And I mean literally, a couple of those blocks are harder to grind. You need a better equipment to get those juicy resources. With those resources, you're forced to upgrade better weapons or your equipment so you drill faster, gather more resources, get into other spaces that you usually can't get to. And what those games do really well, they give you step by step something new to discover. So, discovery is a huge point in those games, even though you may be not noticing this, but every time you run around a cave, you have the possibility to find structures or blueprints that upgrade your vehicle or equipment. Sometimes you even find structures or animals and objects that you don't know how to interact with, and after a couple of tries or by trial and error, you find out what to do. Amazing. It keeps you hooked and keeps you engaged without a lot of riddling or using your brain power too much. You're probably already noticing that in this case, when I play my soul game, I really want to be a brain dead zombie and just let my lizard brain enjoy its time. And I really don't know why I like those games. I frankly can't explain. I just tried. But sometimes it comes to that I want to turn each and every stone and destroy it to see if there maybe was something to find or some material to gather. It is just like a type of perfectionism that I'm trying to achieve there. And when you speak of story, it is great that those games have a story, but they don't push the story onto you. You can discover some information, you can get to know what happened, but it's never disrupted or forced upon you. That keeps you just like this old grindy dwarf in the mines, working. The two last points why those games are really functioning that well is the art style. Yes, it is pixely, but everything you see, even as a pixel, you can recognize. And that's great. That's enough. I don't need fancy graphics in this kind of game. It would only distract me from just my tunnel vision working. And yeah, it still shows everything what it needs. It has even a little bit of depth in the landscape. That's great. I don't need more. And number 2 is the music. Yeah, and you can say music. Yeah, well, it is almost 8-bit like-ish, and not everyone likes that, but it fits the theme very well. It is soft, not much changing, and that's great. It's always the same tune almost. Even the sound effects fit enough the scene or what you're doing. You always know what is happening, what is incoming because of those reoccurring sounds. This is not something that you would expect, but it works pretty well with the graphics. But now, back to my first question. Do you have a feel-good game or genre, and what is it? Probably you have, as I stated before, but I'm really curious what it is and why. So let me know down in the comments. And I'm Smiling Samurai, and now I'm gonna fetch myself a green tea.